All right, so we're back. We're back, and we're gonna be doing another take on cards of miracles. That's what I'm calling it. That's what I'll call this segment. It's gonna be called Cards of Miracles, and this is something that I think if I stick with it long enough, it might be something that's like fun over time and has longevity. Uh, Cards of Miracles. Basically, what it is, it's just a deck of cards. I'm using a deck of cards, regular cards, and the idea behind it is finding the card that you're looking for and then finding the card from a bunch of other cards. And this is just like a short explanation for people that might not have ever heard of this segment or of the shtick, if you want to call it a shtick. Where today what we're going to be playing for is the miracle of having an empty sink. So seeing an empty sink when you get to your house. It's a little dirty, but finding that there are no dishes in the sink. That's going to be the miracle that we're playing for today with Cards of Miracles. Okay. So I'm just going to go back to my spot where I have my cards set up, and I'm going to turn off this light because people in the house are always saying turn off the lights if you don't need the lights. It's going to make it dark, but that's okay because you can see me from right there. You can see that I do. Wrong light. There you go. All right, so we're playing for today, we're playing for an empty sink. Cards of Miracles for an empty sink. Is it possible? I don't know. I don't know. How often do you have to go and check your sink and look in your kitchen sink and find out that it's not empty? That's not an empty sink. There's dishes there waiting. And who likes waiting for dishes? Well, you get home from work and all of a sudden you find out, man, there's dishes in the sink. Who's going to take care of those dishes? I don't know, but when you live by yourself, someone's got to do the dishes. Anyway, so I know this angle is not the greatest. This is a raw, I want to say this is a raw dog production. It's going to be very raw. This is not professional grade anything, any quality whatsoever. This is more about content, and this is more about making things feel more organic and natural in the social media hemisphere. So I want it to be like, that people can come and watch, and that they're not like expecting professional editing, or that there's companies that people are paying a lot of money for to go and say, hey, we have money enough to be able to spend on production costs and things like that. That's great if you can. I mean, a lot of people like that, but this is not one of those things. This is more about organic stuff. So listening to English, at some point I thought about teaching English or going abroad and trying to teach people English, because I thought that would be a good skill trait to teach people how to learn how to speak the language. So if that's something you're into, you're welcome to listen to the content and try to learn the language and hear how it sounds. I have family returning right now, so let me just let them know.
No.
I'm actually doing some recording on content.
What?
So, just so you know.
No, you can't go over there.
Yeah, because there's people that are just getting back. Anyway, so, yeah, when it comes to doing content and things like that, this is going to be like a raw dog production. It's going to be basic, bare bones. You can't see much of anything. You're not going to see beautiful lighting or background drops. It's an absolute mess where I am. But I'll show you pictures from time to time. Here's a picture of the Holy Family. So there's a picture there if you're into Catholicism. That's the Blessed Family. That's Saint Joseph, the Blessed Mother, and Jesus with the lily, the fleur de lis. There, this is Jesus with a deer, the Jägermeister, if you're into hunting. Anyway, a lot of stuff. You can see there's a lot of stuff everywhere. Anyway, let's get over to the cards and let's see what the cards have for us today. Okay, so cards of miracles. That's what I was calling the segment. All right, so we're playing for an empty sink. That you can get home and find an empty sink and find no dishes in the sink. So let me set this up over here real quick. 1, 2, 3. All right. So we got that there. We're going to move the chair back there a little bit. And here are the cards. Okay. So the cards that we're playing with for today, today's May 19th, I believe, is the date. We have 6 cards, so 2, 4, 6 cards. We have 2 kings, we have the King of Spades, and we have the King of Hearts. Okay, we have the Ace of Hearts, we have the Ace of Diamonds, and then we have the Ace of Clubs. Okay, and then the wild card will be the Joker over here. Okay, so the way we'll do it today is, I guess we'll look for the Joker. We're going to try to find the Joker in the deck, okay? Now, if we can find that Joker, that'll be our chance of, how long does it take for something to happen? So waiting for a miracle or waiting to find something, essentially, a clean sink, right? So if it's the last card, chances are you're probably going to have dirty dishes in your sink. Okay, let's put it that way. If you find it first, chances are you're probably going to be lucky and you're going to find that you have an empty sink. Or those days when you do, it'll be a miracle, right? That you find no dishes in your sink, and that day would be, the Joker card that you're like, hey, I got lucky on that day. So again, it's a pun on words. It's basically cards of miracles. But we're playing to see where the cards are to kind of help us understand on our day-to-days. Things take time. Not everything. If there was dirty dishes in that sink, if I went over there and I showed you a sink that had dirty dishes, and I had to do this cards of miracles right away, you know that it's probably going to be hard for me to find that Joker right off the bat, but that's an empty sink right now. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to interact with the audience, and the audience is the one that's hoping that they can find that Joker card first, so that they can find out how long it takes for their sink to get empty, if that makes sense, or something to that effect. So either way, it's just a fun game of chance, and just playing around to see what happens with the game of cards and miracles, and saying, how does this all work? So I'm going to take these cards and I'm just going to shuffle these cards around. They're all the same cards, not doing anything with the cards, just putting them all in different orders. Okay, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so the interaction part comes when we're going to say, we could put like a placeholder, if we have a placeholder. I don't want to get this too complicated, but let's say that we're going to say one card. If we were doing this live, I would be able to say who wants to put, which card is the card that we want to go with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But obviously it's not live, which is fine. We don't need it to be live right now, because it's going to work the same either way. Either way, it's cards of miracles, and we're trying to find out, how do we get those dishes to become clean? Because if those dishes aren't clean, when somebody gets home, what happens? Someone's not going to be happy. So, let's find out, where is this joker? Now, there's 6 cards. 6 cards is a lot. I was doing it with 5 cards. So, I'm going to let you guys go with the first card. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? Now, you guys would have to make that determination, I would say now. So let's say this card here is the card. Let's see if this is a card. I'm going to pick your card first, and I'm going to say this is a card you guys are going to pick. And now I'm going to go through the rest of the deck and see if that's the card or if that's not the joker. That's the card that we're looking for a clean sink. Okay? We're hoping that that's the joker that's going to say, when you get home, or when it's time to clean the sink, who has to clean the sink? If you pick that card and that's the joker, that means you don't have to clean the sink, because the sink should already be clean, if that makes sense. Okay? So now we'll go through the deck and we'll see. Alright. Ace of clubs. That's not going to help. Again, we're hoping this one is the joker, because then that means that person won't have to do the dishes if that's the card that you picked. If you didn't pick that card and that's the joker, and you picked one of these other cards, that means you might have to do dishes. That might not be fun, depending on how many dishes you have in that sink. Now, if you don't have any dishes to begin with, I guess it doesn't matter. But trust me, a lot of people, they have dishes in their sink. And if I showed you a dirty sink to say, hey, you're going to have dirty dishes to have to clean up when it comes time to get home, you're not going to be happy. And that's called chores. Nobody likes to do chores. So, I'm going to keep trying to figure out which one the joker is, because we already said this one here should have to be the joker. Now, if it's not the joker, someone's going to have to do dishes. Okay. Now, the miracle comes from the fact, if that is the joker, then somebody was smart in picking that card. Because if someone said, no, I think it's a different card. Let's say somebody said they want this card. So I'll give them this card here. I'll say here, someone else pick that card now, and I won't flip that card. So now there's 2 chances here of who's gonna have to figure out, is this the joker or is this the joker? Now, nobody knows where the joker is right now. I don't even know where the joker is. But I'm gonna flip this card. If this is the joker, then that means everybody else got to do dishes. Because if I'm in your household and I flip this card and there's dirty dishes in your sink, that would mean someone else has to do those dirty dishes. So I'm flipping this card. Nope, that's the King of Spades. So the King of Spades, that doesn't help anybody right now. It's not helping me. Okay. All right, now, so we have 4 chances. 2 cards are up on these 2 cards. I'm going to do another one here now for someone to say, because they're going to want to say either this one or this one, or they could say this one or this one. So on the chances of it, I think I'm going to flip one of these 2 cards here to see if one of these guys is correct. All right, I'll flip this one here. That's Ace of Diamonds. So Ace of Diamonds, that comes down. That means that this one may be joker. If you pick card 3, then that means you won't have to do dishes. If there's dishes in the sink, you won't have to do dishes. Because that's what we're playing for right now. We're playing for a miracle. It's called Cards of Miracle. So if someone else has to do the dishes and you do the dishes all the time, that'll be a miracle. All right? because I did those dishes earlier today. That's why it's a miracle that that sink is empty. So I know what it means when I'm talking about having a miracle empty sink. And there was dishes in there plenty. So let's see. Now the last one here is for these two people here to decide which card do they want of those three. Do they want to stick with this? Did you go with card 3 in the very beginning? So we'll put this placeholder. This would be the miracle right here, holy water. Holy water will determine, because that card is going to be the one that gets the holy water in the end. Whichever one has the joker in the end, that'll get the miracle card. And that means the person that chose that card will be the one that gets that lucky miracle of either finding no dishes in their sink, won't have to do the dishes, or you ate out and you were smart and you just throw the stuff in the garbage and you don't have to worry about it in the first place because you had the money to buy the food, so it won't even matter to you anyway, and you just put the leftovers in the refrigerator or something like that. All right, as funny as that is. Okay, so we're gonna go with now it's either card, we got 1, 2, or 3. That's what we would have to find out. And we'll go with card 1. So there's the joker. There's the joker there on the first end. He was ponied up. He was ponied up right at the very, very beginning of the whole trolley train. The only thing is, he wasn't at the end. He was looking back. So he was looking at all these guys and he was wondering, he already finished the race. You see him? He already finished the race. He's down here and he's like, who's down there? He's like, who's got to do all them dishes? He's like, all them dishes? You got to do dishes? You got to do dishes over there? All you guys got to do dishes? So this horse, he ran all the way. He ran from over here. He was like over here. You know, and he ran backwards or something. He was like running backwards, and he said he had already won or something. So that means the joker over here, that's what he got. And these two guys over here, well, these two guys, they out anyway. They got to do dishes. So they got to do dishes, 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 they got to do dishes. And this guy's over here, he's like, I don't got to do no dishes. So whoever picked horse 1 or joker 1 or pony 1, that's your miracle horse right there. And that's how the game is played. So now you don't got to do dishes, at least for one day, depending on how bad the dishes look. Unless you're playing for the week. That's a long week to be playing for dishes. You know what I mean? So we're going to take a little holy water. I did dishes today, so I'm going to use my holy water today. And I'm going to say, you know, I did my deed for today. And thank God, because I was able to do dishes. You know, some people can't do dishes. They need help with dishes. And that's a miracle, just being able to do dishes, because people can't always do dishes themselves. I have live with grandparents, and I know how difficult it is, and I live with parents for a long time now, and I know what it's like to have parents that have to do dishes, and I've never liked doing dishes. I do my own dishes typically, but to do everybody's dishes, or to do like all pots and pans and all that kind of stuff, I'm telling you, in the wrong household, you get a serious issue with problems like that. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you don't have to do your dishes, or if you do have to do your dishes, do the dishes. All right then, talk to you later. Peace out.